Hi guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, a connect the dot, an epiphany, a mind-blown moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore, artwork, oracle cards, all that fun. All the all those links are down in the description, and anything helps, supports me, keeps us going as I still am looking for a job. Fun times. You could check out Alley Cat Creations 211 to see my artwork. I didn't put this up there yet. This is Goose. My camera's doing it again. This is Goosey. I drew him. He's cute. He's a canine dog. I do portraits. Sorry, hang on. There we go. I don't know, that kind of resets my camera. I know it's annoying and I do apologize. I make creations. I make really heavy, but really nice, awesome pyramids. And a lot of other things. It's doing it again. So if you are interested in any of my work, I am cost effective. I do charge for not really labor, but for what's in every one of my works, and with shipping included in the pricing. So please check me out. Support a local artist, a starving artist at that. And are you ready, humanity? Are you ready for the greatness coming in? Spiritual soul advising coming. I had a wonky day. My laptop is still in the computer hospital. My laptop stopped functioning 2 days ago. The keyboard that it was giving those Apple error noises, and couldn't get anything to click on the mouse or the pad. I use an external mouse for everything. And then I called tonight. The guy was like, the specialist that comes in to deal with the computers was off today. They looked at it yesterday and they were still trying to figure it out. So they won't know anything until tomorrow, which is fine. I'm still very much allergy under the weather. Um, it's allergies. It's allergies. Fun times. But humanity, are you ready? This is also a lot of ascension symptoms. I am purging a lot. A lot of us are going through it right now. We had a lot of solar flare activity in the last 24 hours. So, and that energy is going to ripple. So just be prepared for the unexpected in your body. Just be grateful and gracious to your body at this point in time. It happens. Solar flares happen. They've been happening. Now, there's a lot that happened yesterday. If you are on WeNotMe, there was a lot of complications yesterday due to, okay, I'm not blaming solar flares, but there was a lot of things involved that were covering up other cover-ups of other cover-ups. So I do apologize. I tried everything I could yesterday, and that included projecting light body. Didn't work. But that's okay. This stuff is gonna happen. But what is gonna happen? What are we being prepared for? Many of you know, because you're feeling it. You're upgrading. your abilities are starting to enhance. I know mine are, and it's exhausting. Got a lot of connections yesterday to the solar event incoming April. I'm happy that I was able to get on the phone for once in a long time with my buddy JQ. And we had a long discussion on the phone last night about what is coming. And he took my spirit advice and he did some digging. And what I mentioned to him, he was actually excited and actually got a lot of connect the dots. So tune in on Sunday because it's going to explode. There's a lot of good things coming, guys, but there's a lot of things that still we need to breathe through. We need to breathe through it. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of things happening in the world. Now, a lot of people ask me if I watch other people anymore, and I barely do. I watch a limited amount of people. And the reason why I do that, it's because too much of the carrot on the stick, like I see the agenda. I see where they're trying to distract you to look over here while all of this is happening over here. And today I got to talk with, even though last night I got to talk to JQ and today I got to talk to Jack. I was really excited. No one ever calls me. I just make assumptions and put shows up and but I was trying to explain this to Jack because he's not spiritual whatsoever. And he humbles me, and it's amazing. We were talking about all these things that look so great that haven't come out yet in manifestation. And we're expecting greatness, but when is it going to happen? And we're always on the tip of our toes, waiting for things in life to come about. I learned through massive suffering, massive detachment, massive lessons. And again, I am only 40. I'll be 41 in April. I don't have an expansive life like most people have. I have a very limited amount of experience when it comes to certain things. And it's not because I haven't lived my life. It's just I've put in a lot of obstacles to hold me back so I can overcome them. That's why I can walk with a lot of experience and wisdom that people are like, wow, you have an old soul. Yes, I have an ancient soul. But in understanding that I have gone through very difficult, very trying times that warrants deeper thinking. I know how manifestation works. We're still, yes, we have moved up. We're in the 4s right now. Whether you want to call it dimension or density, we're there. Many of our consciousness is already expanded on 6th level. I know mine's up there. It doesn't matter where you are. We're expecting greatness. When is it coming? When are you going to put the action into motion to have a cause and effect, to have it manifest? Now, if you go through my Curtis books and you start listening to certain books about manifestation, about the message of Aquarius is a really good one. There's collective karma. We choose where we're going to be born, what experience we're going to have. We choose our story. So wherever you are in the world, you are a part of that karmic tie, entanglement, link. You're entangled to it because you picked that wherever you live in the world. You picked that because that's where your energy and frequency needs to be. There is no favorite spot. There is no ideal place to be. Sad to say, but there really isn't. Everybody thinks paradise, Hawaii, right? You know, a great island somewhere, right? But every place you go, there will be problems. There's always going to be some catastrophe that happens somewhere in a beautiful atmosphere. There's no one place that is absolute 100% safe. So just keep that in mind. We all chose these collectives for a reason, and we need to really hone in on the fact of why. I know for myself, I incarnated to two parents that put me up for adoption. Not great circumstances, but the DNA was absolutely necessary to be adopted to two new older people. The parents were Trump's age. And they brought me to New York because they bought the property that had the Stargate on it, and that was my mission. Do you see how that works? Do you see how I could connect? Before I was born, there was a contract made between both my parents and my adoptive parents and myself that I needed to be put into this spot. I needed certain genetic conditions, abilities, and things that run in the bloodline that my adoptive parents couldn't have given me, that I was taken to the location of where my major life mission was until I moved. Now, if everybody could go and ask themselves, well, why did I choose my parents? What did I learn from them? What did I gain from them? What was programmed into me? What was indoctrinated into me? Your answers, if you look objectively without the emotional states involved, like, oh, my parents were pieces of shit, or my parents were amazing, whatever have you, ask yourself, why did you sign up with your parents? What did you learn from them? What are the things you take away from your family, your direct, immediate family? What did you get from that? I think when we start asking those questions, a lot of your inner spiritual answers will start coming through. Mine didn't come through for a very long time, and I didn't know about my birth parents. No idea about my biological parents. I had to wait until my adoptive mother died. My adopted father died when I was just out of college. I just graduated. He saw me walk down Avery Fisher Hall, Lincoln Center to get my degree. And by the end of that summer, he passed away. I was only 22 years old. Tough. But I took care of my mom. I was my mother's caretaker. I did everything for my mother, like showered and wiped butt. And I did a lot. I sacrificed a lot to do that. But I needed to have that experience. I needed to understand. And I didn't know it in the moment. It was really highly annoying. And I just wanted to live my life. And I wanted, what every fairy tale land indoctrinating program tells you for a female. Oh, in order to be secure, you need a man. You need to have a man with a good job. And you need a house. And you need this and that and the other thing. And sooner than I believed that I didn't need any of it. And I can only rely on myself. I became a very strong ass woman. And anybody that comes into my life is just a compliment to me. And I'm not attached. So, like I said, if the Viking works out, great. If it doesn't work out, great. I still got to take care of me and feed me and make sure that my life is settled. No one's going to do that for me besides myself. So I'm trying to give some of you a pep talk because I know a lot of people might be alone or are widowed or things are just not working out right now. Everything has a purpose and a reason. Asking the deeper questions and having an objective, detached emotionally state of looking at it will help you. So what does this have to do with the greatness? When I lost everything, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't. But I gave faith and I surrendered to the universe to say that things are going to happen the way they're going to happen. I got to trust the process. I have to respect divine timing. And I am going to put action into motion in order for things to actually happen. Well, you can't do a move without actually physically packing. You can't do a move until you find a realtor and you make sure you're getting the right person in your life. You can't move if you don't have open houses. So there are things that you have to physically do in order to put action into motion for a cause and effect to happen. Wishful thinking and thinking outside of yourself, oh God, help me. And God sends his earth angels to you, and you ignore thinking that God's something outside of you or other people. God's in everything. I'm going to say it until the cows fly, pigs fly, cows come home on the range. It's the truth. We need to start putting action into motion in order to get this greatness. Right now, energy is very high. Vibrational states are high. What is coming in from the flares is highly charged electrical plasma hitting our being. It's radiant light. It is supposed to change us. And we're transforming. We're purging. Purging. My whole body is purging. It isn't a pretty process. I've been more tired than I usually am. I'm always tired because I'm never in my body. I'm always doing other things. But looking at a bigger picture, a lot of things are presenting themselves in the physicality of reality right now. What are you preparing yourself for? This trip isn't going to be the easy one. It's going to be harder. So, what are you doing to prepare for the greatness incoming? It's a stair step. Are you ready to take the first one? Some people, yes. A lot, no. But we're going to get you there. Sorry, guys. I wanted to make sure I got that cough out. I pulled cards to determine what I was doing today because I was going to do a Manly P. Hall read. But urged me to do cards. And then this now makes sense. Don't lose sight of this truth. You came here to evolve and grow. It is necessary to experience the difficult times. That is when you will grow most. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Be proud of your journey. I think that is what a lot of people have done. They look at God outside of themselves. They refer to God as something other than themselves. The same thing with Yeshua and all the people that, whatever you resonate with, that you call upon, pray to, or have affirmations about. I don't limit that energy. It's energy, by the way. Are you losing sight of that one truth that is an absolute? You signed here. You came here, volunteered here. Whatever your contract is with Source, you came here. You're here. Hi. And you're here to grow and evolve. And it took many different types of lives to do those things. It's not just a one and done. Never was and never will be. And that's not to say that moving up forward, that your lifespan won't be a lot longer, but even higher density beings at some point transmute their energy so they can have different experiences. They graduate, they move up. I just had the worst painful sneeze ever, so I do apologize. I'm going to be pausing a lot. Many reasons why I don't do lives, because that was vicious. That was vicious. It is necessary to experience the difficult times. In order to have difficult times and gain the wisdom from walking through the experience, it's not, I think it was Linda. It's not your experience is because you walk through it. You felt the emotional states of everything that you had to walk through. You went through the physical pain. You went through all the motions to understand, understand, take it all in, absorb it, to learn it, to eat it, and then to pacify. Maybe people pacify, but for me, I absorb it and then release it as an experience. Thank you so much, Source, for giving me this challenge that I had to overcome. When you're in the middle of the shitstorm, it doesn't feel fun. It sucks. I lived 2.5 years in eating once a day and in total collapse. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any help. I didn't have many people guiding me. But when I surrendered and gave myself to Source and said, I don't, what am I doing now? Things started transforming. I got more of my spiritual gifts back. Things started coming back into my consciousness, and like, oh, gotcha. It's not pretty. Whatever you're going through, whatever you went through, but we can't hold those things and to let them hold us back. We have to walk the experience, gain the wisdom, and then release. I am a much better person now for surrendering to the process of, I didn't belong in New York anymore. I had to reconcile with that within myself. I didn't know where I was going, but at the end of that almost moving, it's like, okay, where am I going? Where can I afford to get a house? Oh, okay, Indiana 1. I didn't know where. I just picked a hub where I knew someone, JQ. And I picked that, but I wasn't limiting myself. I was looking all over the state, and it just so happens that fate has its way of working in. that we wrote for our own selves. I wrote this. Buy this book. I keep getting on people for not reading it because I gave a copy to somebody and I gave people the information to buy it because this is going to help you understand where I am coming from in an easier sense. When you see the God in everything and everybody, the whole smackdown, everybody's blaming people and sides, these people and hate. Bleh, That's ruining your toy roto feel, guys. It's killing it. Stop hating God, source, prime creator. It created it all. You don't need to believe that, but it makes sense to me. It's my interpretation of what I receive. But when you are walking through difficult times, you always have to look at the lesson you just learned or the lesson you imparted on somebody else. Not all the time is things happening to you, they're happening for you. And sometimes we are the ones giving the lesson to somebody else. Maybe someone contracted you to do some heinous shit, like break somebody's heart or get into a fight, whatever it is. You are sent here to be a catalyst for others as others are catalysts for you, and you wrote that story. I read the shadow aspect part of this book. Holy fucking balls. We also have to understand we're all one. We have to stop detaching ourselves as individuals to see ourselves as a full unity of one. That's not easy. Why do I say that? Because in order to move forward to this greatness, this beautiful, vast, expansive, amazing world that we're all trying to manifest, I hope and more people are on my bandwagon when I say do the inner work. We'll get there. We got to understand though, we play different parts in different lifetimes, and this person did, it was bad, really bad, but really good lessons to be learned. And now, does that soul need to be held accountable for one bad life? That they needed that experience, they needed the shadow world, they needed to be in the narcissistic component, not the empathic, the narcissistic component. When you detach your emotional states to people, places, and things, and you see objectively what the lesson was, I'm not saying detach the, you love somebody, but it's fine. But what are you imparting? What are you learning from this person? We need to realize that the people doing the heinous things in the world, we were them in another life. Should our souls be held accountable for doing those deeds that we have definitely most likely have done in different life cycles? And this time we chose our free will to do the light. Got to make things make sense. And something I imparted on Jason yesterday, in what density, what dimension are you talking about? That's game changing. I said the same thing to Jack today. You got to look at things in vibratory states because this is how we live. We don't physically see it or pick up on it. Some of us do, but not a totality sense. So if, I plucked a string And some of us are up here and we're flexing normal, but there's other people doing this big flux. This is what's happening in society right now. This is what the energy is coming in right now. And we're going to have people that are going to hit the high, stay up here for a little bit and go, oh, they were right. You're going to get a lot of that because their consciousness is starting to expand. And when they hit, they feel great and they start getting that high energy and they start getting their downloads, the epiphanies. It's going to be different from us. Lots of us were activated already. So we had time to sit in this energy. We had time to deal with the emotional states and the transmutation and the alchemizing of our minds. We had time to work on our reactions and our mindsets. These people are just going to get those waves and they're going to be boggled with confusion, possibly, not all, but some. And they're going to come to you. And you're going to be the one to help them. You're going to guide them. You're going to help explain things to them. Now, why would someone want to go to you if you are a hateful, judgmental person? I wouldn't want to come to anybody that was bashing me 1 minute. I got a lot of people that can't stand the living daylights out of me that says very damning, harmful things in my name. I give them compassion and grace because the level of knowing is at this. My level of understanding is up here. It doesn't make me any better or any worse than that person down here, but I see a bigger, larger picture than most people. And we're so narrowly focused because the dangling stick and the carrot is here. Oh, here, death clock is coming. Is there a secret thing coming out today? Oh, dingle, 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 dingle. And you're distracted and you're not doing the work on yourself to figure it out for yourself. It's all in the memory. It's all in the memory. And when we watch certain people, we get triggered by epiphanies, memories. But it's who you're watching. Are you getting the downloads? Moving into greatness. Look past what you feel are your incapabilities. Instead, focus on everything you have achieved so far. It is okay to acknowledge your weaknesses, but keep in mind that they don't define you. Your strength and your beautiful soul are clear for all to see. Bingo. So I used to be that negative self-talk kind of person that sat back in my head all the time. Well, my mom told me I was stupid. I'm not good enough. I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have kids. And I might never have this and that and the other thing. And I might just be meh in the world because that's what I was told. And when you implant those ideas and concepts into people, it sticks because you hear it enough. And you limit yourself and you limit what you are capable of doing. Well, early on, I'm a fucking bitch. And I said to my mother, why, who are you to fucking tell me this shit? Sorry, I don't believe what you're telling me. I'm not stupid. My brain functions differently. Yeah, so I have dyslexia. Yeah, that means I just can't, I have to be very careful when getting a matrix job because I don't see money and numbers properly on a screen. And when I do read, I have to have a pencil. So I'm not over speed reading. I'm not missing anything. Okay, that doesn't make me incapable. That just means I have to find what works for me to function in society. Focusing on the negative of everything isn't going to help you, and it's gonna not solve your problems. It's only going to attract the negative energy towards you. That's why I keep emphasizing, stop feeding that side. They can't create and manifest reality like we can. They're playing an aspect and a unique one of source in the negative polarity. We're playing in the positive polarity, but yet we keep feeding them because we're chasing a carrot on a stick in a pipe dream. Yes, certain things of greatness is going to come for all of us. I would hope so. But if we're not focused on what that greatness is, are you being humble? Are you having gratitude for what you have? Are you giving away what you have access of? You know, I was talking to Jack about what's been going on because he really just focuses on the history and he doesn't really get involved with all the other the headaches. And I even said to him, I'm like, do you see the beautiful people that are entering your life? And he goes, yeah, there's amazing people. And I said, and those are the ones that we need to cherish while focusing on who is taking advantage of situations to gain financial gain. You know, when I always said this, I was in that spot where I really needed help. Like my life, I was literally losing my life. And I was screaming at the rooftops to anybody that would even give me a listen or a read in a chat. It boggled my mind. It really upset me. And if you go back 2 years ago on this channel, you will see how upset I am. I actually watched one of my videos and I hysterically cried because I couldn't face looking at that part of me that was screaming for help. I don't ever really ask for help. I built this whole house just about myself. I put everything together by myself. I moved in myself. Very heavy stuff. I conquered it all. I had to do it, and I'm okay with that. But there are other people that can't. We're sitting idly by with people that really have real deal needs, that inflation happens, and all these people that are collecting bank from their channels saying that they're there for humanity and they're trying to help their community. I don't see the evidence. I don't need the homeless guy on the street on a TikTok that you gave him $5. That's not what that means. I've said it before. I couldn't move half my entire house from New York to Indiana. There was no way I could do it or afford it. I was on a budget and I was very limited on what I could take with me. My books were a priority for me. I only took my kitchen table and a lamp for furniture from my old house. Everything my parents worked really hard for had to go in the trash, or I donated, or I gave away. Even though at that point in time, I was starving and I was asking people to hopefully someone could help me get a buyer for a gorgeous dining room table. Nah, I had to get that chopped up and it had to be put in scraps. Devastated me. Furniture, real wood, real deal, all in the garbage. No one wanted it. It burned me. But I had to release that and detach. It was a lot. And all of you are going through difficult situations, but are you negatively self-speaking? I had to change my mindset and sit there and stop hating on myself. And even like recently, I had to say, Allison, you should be proud of yourself that you did all of this alone. Look how far you have come. Through the worst of circumstances, here you are. Give yourself a pat on the back, like give yourself a hug. Like, stop talking negative that you don't do anything when you did so much. You just are not recognizing it and you're not giving yourself the love that you deserve for it. And then I stopped and really thought about it. I'm like, holy crap, yeah, I came through a lot in a short amount of time. Are you guys giving yourself that compassion? You should be. Always see the greatness you are. What can you contribute? Yes, we all have flaws. I have a lot of them. I am not perfect. I don't care what and who I can channel. Doesn't matter. They love me. Myself loves me. My higher entities, the multidimensionalness of my being, loves me unconditionally and is supporting me and cheering me on from higher density, saying, yes, you got this. Start loving yourself, girl. You deserve that. You don't deserve what everybody fed you your whole life. You are different for a reason. You put yourself here for that reason. People are going to find you who are going to value what you say. And you're going to value them because you're helping them walk through difficult circumstances and letting them understand your life so they can apply it to theirs, so they can start turning themselves around and going, holy shit. Find ways to fill your cup. Be self-full. Follow your heart and always trust your intuition. Go deep within. Find your triggers and address them one by one. Self-heal is the best healing. Only then can you offer the best version of yourself. Absolutely. Although I have to say that healing is a forever thing. You're always going to be healing. You're going to expand your consciousness. You're going to look down at a perspective and go, oh, okay, I know I cleared that, but there's this aspect to it that I didn't even acknowledge. And then you go back and heal it, release it, let it go. It peels back like an onion. That makes you want to cry. Right? But that's okay. Crying is great. And I suggest men start doing it more. I tried prompting the Viking to cry. But I hope he does, because he needs that release. A lot of people need that release. Crying is very healthy. Extremely healthy. And we got to find what is triggering you to hate other people. What is it in you that you have to shame, blame, and judge other people for God having an experience through them? What triggers you in responses? That's something that is to be healed. That is something you can transmute. That is something you can make the change. You can change your purview. You could change your mindset just by acknowledging that something triggered you. There's no reason why you have to be ashamed that you had a trigger. Well, when you're caught up in your day-to-day life and someone cuts you off and almost kills you, yeah, you're going to be pissed. You're going to be upset. You're going to curse. Okay, but you didn't die. Why was that a trigger for you? What was the lesson you needed to learn, or what was something that needed to be brought to your attention? There's always something to look deeper into, to do the healing, to let it go, to understand the lesson that you needed. So make sure when you're triggered, you stop yourself and you think, why am I triggered? And then go through your answer and start dissecting your answer in order to come up with a solution so you're not triggered anymore. Or a boundary that when it does occur again, if someone projects it at you again, how are you going to put your barrier up? How are you going to put your protection up so that you're going to be like, or I give you love. What are you going to do? Something to think about. As I had a vicious sneeze again. Sorry, get that. Self-healing is the best healing. In order for us to achieve this greatness and to manifest it for everybody, you have to be individually in the frequency of authenticity, of healing, of love. Love. What do you love? Write it down. I love myself. I love my cat. I love my outdoor cat. I love animals. I love cute videos of animals. I love being sassy. I love life. What do you love? Now, ask me that 10 years ago, I didn't want to live. I hated life. I wanted to expire. I didn't see my purpose. I didn't every time I would go out and try something, I was a tattoo artist. That didn't work out for me very well. I taught Zumba for 10 years. That didn't work out for me very well. I tried selling my artwork and being in galleries for years. That never worked for me. I could never get a good paying job. I was limited because my mind was limited. I didn't see my potential because I was always told, I was fed, I'm not ever good enough. I'm never enough. I didn't see that when you're rejected from things, that is God's way of protecting you. That's the universe saying that wasn't for you. You thought in the moment it was, but in reality it was not. And you had to have those jobs to gain experience, to understand a bigger picture. So why do we measure success with money? Why we're gonna eventually move away from that concept. Stop attaching your success to a financial gain. We're taught that as kids. We're taught that our parents, grandparents, that whole line of lineage was taught that. It's ingrained in us. I moved away from that. You know what I'm successful in? Is being creative. You know what I'm successful in? Putting things together. Reimagining things. I bought a cabinet and I didn't like the color it came in, but it was a really good cabinet and I really liked the composition of it. But you know what? I took some DIY spray paint and some paint and I made it what I wanted to make it. I have to enjoy it. No one else no, I don't care who comes in my house and don't like the wall color. Else your walls are black. I don't fucking give a shit. You know what? That makes me happy. Oh crap. Put your boundaries up, peoples. I make things the way I want to that makes me happy. I walk into what makes me happy. I never realized I did what made me happy. And a lot of the times that didn't earn me financial success and gain, but you know what? I was happy. But I didn't acknowledge it because when you apply success into a financial realm, no, I shouldn't have ever been happy. So we need to take away the financial component into what makes you happy. What is it that you're doing that you love to do? I love making videos. I love creating artwork. I love reading books. I just have yet to find the avenue in order to make something enough to have a consistent, yes, you do need finances. You do need money to live. In this paradigm, yes. But that's not a way to measure your success. We need to get away and rewrite what success means. And for me, I've accomplished a shit ton in my life. Didn't make me a millionaire, and I'm nowhere near financial stability. But you know what? I succeeded in a lot of things that most people wouldn't be able to succeed in if they limited their mindsets. I grew my mindset. I grew the understanding of a bigger picture. I understand how energy works. I understand that we wrote these trials and tribulations for us for a reason, to see a greater picture, to learn. I, of course, found this, and this is making sense, I hope, to people that are experiencing the extreme amount of electrical frequency going on in the air. Every cell in your body has about 0.07 volts. I have a lot more than that, and I think I did a short and showed you what the volts were when I grounded to not grounding. I hold a shit ton of more electricity than I ever thought I did. 50 trillion cells times 0.07 volts is 3.5 trillion volts of electricity in your body right now. And I hold a lot more than that. Many of you do as well. I have a voltmeter, and you put it, I forgot what setting you put it on, but you ground and you zap yourself and you see where you are, where you're sitting. I have a grounding mat that I sit on. Morgan Cat lays on it constantly. That helps her ground, and I have one that I sleep on. I have too much frequency sometimes in my body, and I short circuit. That's why sometimes you could see the lights fluctuating. It's bizarre. But this is the energy that we are receiving right now. So are you going out and grounding? And yes, it's cold in certain parts of the United States and in the world at large. Like, I don't expect you to take your shoe off and go and walk on the grass if it's cold. Like, I have arthritis. That is a shock to my system, but you know what I can do? I could put my hand to a tree. I do every day. I go outside to my backyard. This is why I bought the property. The house is a little on the shitty side, but I like my property. So I put my hand on my tree and I thank it for its oxygen, and I thank it for being awesome. And I just ground with the trees. Make sure you're grounding daily. And if you can't get out daily, make sure you visualize the grounding. That helps. It's not an end all be all, because I know a lot of people in New York live in an apartment and it's really hard to find a spot to ground. Everything is concrete. But there is places that you can go to touch a tree. Just go find one. Make friends with it. I know it sounds crazy, but it helps. I had a coughing fit. Yeah, I love this stuff. I love allergies. Love feeling stuffy. I've been providing the self-healing techniques on this channel, doing the deeper questions, journal, vent, ground, get out there. It's up to you. What is going to work for you? We're all different. We all interpret things differently. So try. It's all about trying. You don't know if something works unless you've tried it, and you tried it multiple ways to see if it fails or not. Just like a diet. You can't just start a diet in one day and then expect 10 pounds to drop off. It doesn't work like that. It takes time. It takes discipline. It takes the will and intention to make the changes to keep up with something. Now, after a month, if you're not seeing any changes, or even within 2 to 3 weeks, you're not feeling different, then yes, take another approach. Try, but some things do take time in order for them to work. And that includes everything of just about in life. So just be mindful that healing is a process that only you are going to know what works for you. You can't just give up on yourself. I've tried, and guess what? I got my ass beat from upstairs. I got my ass whooped. Like, you're not giving up. Oh, hell no. You're not dying. What are you talking about? Take a breath. This is just a moment. You're going to look back on these moments, and I have it written up in my journals. I'm like, how stupid was I? Why did I think that way? Why was I limiting my thinking? And when we're looking for this greatness, are you embodying this greatness? Are you accepting that change is going to happen to you, whether you accept it or not, that this expansion is happening for you? We wrote this. It's happening for you. Just like that sneeze happened for me. Sorry, guys, I'm like a mess. And I took all my supplements today. Jesus. Sorry, yes. Form a habit I have to cut because he don't like that. The aspect that runs through me, that's running through a lot of you. But you want to have your best version of you. And yes, you're always going to improve upon your best version, but where are you at right now? Have a self-check. How did you feel today? Check in with yourself every day. Sit in and check in. Life gets in the way. We are always distracted. Always distracted by somebody. Someone calls you, and then you lose sight on what you were working on, and then you forget, and then social media, the carrot dangle on the stick. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. I keep saying the solar flash that everybody's talking about is solar flares. I'm not going to see the light the way other people might. And it's going to come in waves. I don't believe it's the one and done, because why would anything ever be one and done? When people are talking about all these extremes that are happening, take a person that is in a limited level of consciousness expansion, right? They kind of know something's wrong, but they don't really know what. Can't put their finger on it just yet. They're not cognizantly seeing a bigger picture that you are, okay? Are you going to go at them and freak out on them and like, oh my God? Or are you going to calmly say, hey, it's okay. Stop feeding fear. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Step one, and explain what's going on. Are you really prepared for what is coming? We don't know what's coming. That's the beauty of all this. Are you trusting and surrendering to upstairs, to your higher self, to the greatness that you are? Are you surrendering? Are you absolutely sitting back and saying to yourself, I got this. I'm going to prepare the best that I can, because that's all you can do. But there are people who have no awareness. It's in their subconscious. It's there. We've been all awake for a very long time. It's just a matter of us meeting that energy to expand and to see a bigger picture. They're not expanding as quickly as you, and that's okay. They're limited in the moment. So the greatness is happening. We see this beautiful, big, vast picture of what could be and what will be. Now, other people will not see it. How do you think those in power who are controlling some space-time continuum, there is time control. I'm still looking and digging into that. I didn't ignore that. It's quite a concept. Whoever is controlling, besides Source, they're being used by Source. But it's a matter of what polarity is being used. And that's where the lesson comes in. Them shutting down the banks, them doing all this stuff. I was explaining this to Jack a little bit. When we sit back to think the EBS is going to go off and all these places are going to just shut down and there's martial law and there's all kinds of stuff. Okay, in reality, a normal person is going to freak the F out. They're not going to know what's going on. They're going to be scared. Therefore, they're going to be able to be programmed by whatever propaganda BS is out on the news. And we know there's a lot of that happening, and it already has happened to many of us. We didn't get the programming cue to be obey. We got, what the hell are they talking about? What are they feeding us? What? We questioned, but there are other people who didn't question. They went right along. Brainwashing is real. And we got to be compassionate toward those people because they didn't know. They were only doing what their heart was telling them was right. And again, everybody has what is right for them. It's different for everybody. And we have to stop holding judgment for those people. What we can do is, here's a remedy to get all that stuff out of you. But when it comes to money, financial systems and immediate stuff, do you really think they're going to shut everything down at once? What do you think normal people are going to do? And what do you think is going to happen? People don't have their 2A right. It's not going to be easy for people in the city to defend themselves. And I'm not trying to bring fear. I'm just being realistic. Personal experience. Right before I moved out of New York, the last 2 years that I was living there, a coworker got stabbed in the subway. I was being chased down by people when I got off the bus at 6 a.m. on 6th Avenue and 14th Street, and that's where all the homeless people and then the Bellevue people came out. People used to, like, I attract crazy. And I look a certain way for a reason. I scare people. And I scared them. They didn't want nothing to do with me, especially when I was all like hooked and cloaked, and I gave them that look and they not her today. But I also defended. I had stuff hidden on me all over the place. So if someone were to try something, like, but even when I moved here, like, things are really bizarre. Like, there's no, like, the fences are really tiny. You could just hop over a fence. Like, why isn't anything like fenced in? Oh, we don't do that here. What? Like, I'm still in the New York mindset where I put like locks on things, even though my fence is short and anybody can hop right over. That's stuff that freaks me out. And I have to get over that fear. And it's not that I fear that anything is gonna happen. It's just like, why I don't understand the mindset in the Midwest. I don't get it. But I like things enclosed. Like, every one of my neighbors, their backyards are accessible somehow. And for me, I don't find that being comfortable for me. Um, it just bothers me. I'm used to people getting robbed every day, and people's, boxes and Amazon stuff. Like, everybody's like, what are you worried about that? That doesn't happen here. Well, you never know. That's why I have a plethora of things around me, because I never know. You can live anywhere. You can live in the middle of nowhere. There's stories all over the world. You can live in a little town and somebody has bad vibe and they're going to come and do something, and you happen to be the victim. Well, don't make yourself the victim. That's another thing. Stop making yourself a victim. You're not a victim. Stop. Slap you. Stop. I love you, but stop. Stop claiming victimhood. You signed up for that experience. I've had some very not okay things I don't talk about, and that's just to keep myself safe here. But I've had some very not okay things happen to me in my life. And I claim victimhood. And I lived off and thrived off of it until I stopped, realized what I was doing, and said, okay, wait, this experience really sucked. It hurt me, it damaged me. I'm going to forgive myself for putting myself in that situation in the first place, whether it was granted, warranted, or not. And I'm going to give myself love, and I'm going to release this because it no longer serves me. When we're complaining about our illnesses, you can't see greatness when you're limiting yourself. At 21 years old, got diagnosed with arthritis. They didn't know what kind, but I was really, really sick. I couldn't pick up a pencil. I just graduated college at 22, and I was already struggling to get up the stairs, to move around, to sit and, I was in class for 8 hours a day in my studio classes, and 6 hours sometimes in art history. There's no way. I was having a hard time, and no one could answer why I was in so much pain or very uncomfortable. I had to stop dancing midway through high school because my hips and my knees were just disintegrated. My feet were disgusting. My feet are horrible. I was a ballerina. I did tap, jazz, lyrical, modern hip hop. I was in competitions. I battered my body, thinking it's exercise and it's great. No, no one knows. Some people are professional dancers. I wish I would have made it to that level. I was on my way, but I had to stop because my body was screaming. I allowed my body to tell me. But when I finally, my dad died, and then the stress and everything, that's really when my life took a turn. I couldn't hold a pencil. I couldn't walk. Everything hurt times 20. When my doctor told me, Allison, you have arthritis and it's autoimmune, and we're going to figure out which it is. But in the meantime, you got to relearn how to move differently for what suits your body. We're going to get imagery of your back. You might have some bad back issues that are causing your pain. We're going to find out. But in the meantime, relearn how to walk better, properly. But what your body is going to give you and put you through, do it or doesn't hurt that much. I had to relearn how to bend down. Instead of doing the grand plie, I had to check my hip and my knee and my feet alignment to make sure that if I fall, I'm not going to break a hip. I had to relearn to do a lot of things. I had an acorn stair lift in my house for me. So being told at 22, you have to relearn how to live your life to the conditions of your body so that you're less limited, but you are going to be limited. Ruined my life. But I mean, my doctor told me you are you could either be the victim or you can overcome this. He's like, instead of like opting to go in the wheelchair and do things that you're young and people are going to look at you like there's nothing wrong with her. What's wrong with her? And I've gotten that perception a lot when I was working. You know, arthritis, you have your good days, your bad days. Sometimes you hit a remission and you're good for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden. So I had to learn how to move my mindset out of, okay, I do have to change my lifestyle. I do have to figure out. And I do have to put my limits up, because if I'm working and my back starts really like saying, get the hell, sit down, lay down, nope, 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 I have to honor my body. So I make sure when I'm out and about and I start, I can't stop sitting still because I'm very uncomfortable, then my day is over. Sorry, I have to do me. Are you doing these things for yourself? But are you complaining and making it like a fucking pity fest? Rise up in whatever you have. And I know that's hard for some people that have the C word or something very detrimental, but it's all here in how you word and how you go about complaining. My best friend that died of osteosarcoma told me, I'm in pain. It's a waste of energy to complain. I take my medicine and I try to bring cheer to people and I try to give hope to people, because that pain isn't going away. So am I going to live in pain or am I going to subvert it and divert that attention to something that makes me happy and to help other people? I'd rather kind of distract myself with that than sit there and make it worse. And he was right. And this is from somebody that lost a leg. He gave some very wise over his years advice. It's like, there's no point in wasting your energy and complaining for things that are not going to change. What you can change is your reaction to the pain and your reaction to the physical limitations that you have. Look at the bright side of things. What can you do? What are you capable of doing? There are people that have no limbs and still are artists. They're using their mouth. They're being ingenious, inventive. They're seeking above they're looking above, and they're not looking at their lack. So we all in those, I'm just giving those extremes because I feel a lot of people are limiting themselves to their conditions, whatever that may be. You know, like I'm looking, when I moved here, I didn't know where I was going to move. I didn't know what kind of job I was going to get or wanted. And I still don't have a job. And I'm not giving up. I'm looking outside of my box. I'm thinking of ways to manifest opportunities for myself. So what was one of my opportunities? There was a canine event, and I bought a t-shirt and I bought a hoodie to support the K9 Association for the police. And I said, well, if you can give me the dog portraits or pictures of the dogs that I can draw, and then when I'm done with them, you guys can do what you want with them, but it would be really cool if you hung them in the police station. Then how many people would say, oh, wow, who did that? Oh, and there's my information. See, out of the box thinking of marketing and doing it in an honorable way where I love canine units. I love animals, and I had a really good time and a learning experience drawing that. So it only helped me, and I can benefit from doing something good. I'm not looking, if someone wants a portrait, great. If not, great. It's still bringing joy to someone's face. That's all I want at the end of the day, but it's good marketing for me. I applied to a library show. They have tables that you could put your artwork up and promote your business. Even though my business is private, I'm not selling anything online. Like I can go do a vending event, and if it's at my local library, it's like being here. Great. So find the things, stop limiting yourselves. You know, I might not see much results right now, but I'm sure I'm going to prosper and grow as I go along. And what is working, great. If not, I got to look at other avenues. We have to stop limiting ourselves and our mindsets. We need to move forward to see this greatness, to manifest this greatness. We can't do it in a state where we're all blue button. Oh, that chick right there, she's nuts. I can listen to her. Fuck her. You're limiting yourself by judging others. It's one thing to have a perception on somebody and making an observation, but do it constructively. When it comes to yourself, be constructive. Stop negative self-talk. What can you do? Not what can't you do. We all have flaws. We all have stuff we really can't do. But that doesn't mean if you don't try, you're going to fail. We got to start thinking positively on our own selves. We need to start feeding ourselves better energy. And that starts with you. It starts in home and it starts here. We can't see the greatness when we all see limitations. When we're all shaming and blaming the other side for all their help, they're holding us up. No, they're not. We are holding ourselves up. When you see that bigger picture, when you see that, yeah, people are going to be exposed for the nonsense. Oh, I'm going to help the Patriots, but I'm going to have, no proof that I help others. We can't be a community, no matter what it is, spiritual or whatever, when everybody is ripping and aggrandizing on each other. I'm all for humanity. I just want to be content. I just want to be able to eat and be warm or be cool in the summer. I want to be able to go and have a nice life. I don't need a mansion. I don't need 5 cars. I just need one that works, and I'll be very happy. I want to be safe, and I want to see others thrive as well. It doesn't mean I'm going on world vacations, world trip vacations, and staying in lavish luxury. And of course, I would love to do something like that, but that doesn't look like it's a reality for me. I'm just being honest. Not that I don't want nice things for myself, but I'm not limiting myself either. I'm being realistic. If I can just be content and I can help raise other people up on their feet, that's all that I want. That's all that I want. I already seen portions of what my light body does. I can go around the world at any moment if I wanted to. I know what I'm going to be able to experience once I'm out of this vehicle, and I'm really excited. And eventually, a lot of you are going to be able to see these things too. But in order for you to even get to that point, you've got to start making changes in your mind. You need to start making implementations every day to stop thinking negatively, to stop thinking the lack. You need the frequency within you has to be strong with a strong foundation in order for you to move forward. And it takes small steps. It's stair steps. You're stepping up. If you go full throttle, which I feel is going to happen to some, because all these energies are coming in. We're getting our memories back. We're remembering things. We're having dreams of these things. They're not easy to grasp. They're not easy to just comprehend. Some of the things that people tell me, I'm like, okay, let's take a breath. How did that make you feel? Did you feel anxious, nervous? I can't even sometimes decipher what people tell me. It's so out of my scope, but that's okay. It's let's break this down and let's take it piece by piece. A lot of people now waking up who did not have the time to do self-inflection, self-reflection. We had a lot of us had this time to do it. I had it half my entire life. I'm not a social animal creature. I do go out and have fun, but I tend to, because of the empathic abilities, I tend to stick in myself. Being that said, when these flares keep coming in and more people start activating and they start recalling and they have these amazing downloads and connections, and they are like, they're in shock because they don't know what to do with it. This is where myself and many of you are going to be put to task, and that task is incoming. We've been preparing for this. That's why a lot of us are elevated and had already had a lot of these experiences, this knowing, this knowledge, this grander opportunities from spirit to help us comprehend what's going on, so that when this happens to somebody in a snap, we have the guidance and the know-how to say, okay, let's slow down, sit down. Ground first. Okay. One breath at a time. What's going on? and they might spit a lot at you. Okay, no, let's take a breath. It's a lot. And wherever their starting point is, don't overshoot the target. Don't truth bomb throw up at them. Don't spew at them. Let them tell you. Then you give your response slowly, gently. We have to give compassion to people that are just waking up, and a lot of people are going to. We are the way showers. Each person might not resonate with your message, might go to somebody else, but we're starting this all over again. We were there and in it for like many of us for a lifetime. Some of us the last 5 years, 6 years, deep into it. So this greatness that we're wanting, that is coming, that we see, but it's not here yet. You're reaching, and it's just you can't get it yet. Well, we got to catch everybody else up before that greatness comes. Before we can really walk in it together as unity. Community unity. We're not going to leave anybody that was meant to be with us behind. This might be a spiritual war, but we're not. This is something that we need to take stair steps with anything. Most people need tangible, seeable evidence. That's why a lot like Jason and Jack are always putting their screen on share to show you their documents and their thinking process. Someone like me, I can only show you the Stargate map and my address and some pictures. I don't have tangible, unless you are spiritually open to see me channeling and to see the beings behind me, in front of me and around me. Unless you see when I meditate the light that is emanating around me, a normal person that doesn't have that sight is just going to see me as a regular person. They might not believe the things that come out of my mouth. This is the difficulty with what a lot of us are, is having tangible, seeable, feelable evidence. And you know how that evidence is going to come? When people are going to unfold things that they can't explain, and they're going to say, don't think I'm nuts, but you're the only one I know that won't think I'm nuts, so that's why I'm coming to you, because you might be able to help me. I already had a few of this examples from New York. My friends, I love them. They're amazing people. It just wasn't their time. But they know that this is my realm. They know that I've been sitting in it for a long time, and a few of them even admitted, oh yeah, there was activity in your house. Oh yeah, we remember that. Oh yeah, we saw some crazy stuff, but we didn't know how to verbalize it, or like, we didn't want to scare anybody. So we kind of, but now as adults, they're more open to understanding what was going on, and they're ready to step into the unknown, to the things you can't yet see but still exist. That greatness is going to be here, but more of us need to step into the frequency to spread that frequency onto others. I hope it sticks. We need to start preparing other people to start loving themselves, to start digging deep and stop complaining. Yes, there is annoying things every day that we complain about. And that, I'm not telling you to take the humanness out of you. But when it comes to certain things, like my doctor was saying, like, I should not limit myself because my body is limited. It's not to say you can't use, you can't, if you bend this way, you might hurt your back really bad. Well, maybe learn how to bend your back another way. It's being flexible. It's working with what you got. And it's being in a positive mind frame to say, well, I'm going to conquer this asshole shit that I got handed to me. I'm going to do this. I'm overcoming it. Even if that means you just flipping a switch or doing things different ways, but it still gets done. So yeah, it might hurt when you bend over, but grappling and okay, like everybody's in pain. I don't know one person over 30 that doesn't have something wrong with them. People don't understand, like my teeth fall out at will and I have a hard time eating, so I don't like to eat certain things when I'm out. And sometimes I look like a freaking mess. I don't care, I'm hungry. But I try to avoid those situations. It's all a matter of working with what you have and being positive about it. Self-love. It starts with you. It starts with your mindset. It starts with stop looking for the carrot outside of yourself that you keep chasing. These concepts, these agendas that people are feeding you, this is going to happen. Elon Musk does this, and here's this great prize. Here, this is amazing prize. Okay, so wait. Okay. I stopped reacting to every stimulus that someone sends me some article and oh my God, how are you wanting me to react? Guess what? I'm not. I'm taking the information in. Okay. Tactical mind. Am I prepared? Do I have enough food? Does Morgan have enough food? Does little four have enough food? Oh, spring is coming. Okay, what am I planting in my garden this year? I'm expanding my garden. How am I going to do that financially? Let's think about it. Okay, what am I putting in my garden? What worked and what did not work this season? So now I'm preparing for like a multitude of things. I'm not sitting in fear. I'm not being anxious. I'm actually looking forward to getting back into my backyard and having fun. When is the dandelions coming back out? Because I had dandelion tea and that really helped because it's helping my body with the allergens and the pollen. It's different here. What are we doing to prepare, but not freak out and not overwhelm? Oh my God, I gotta stock my house up with toilet paper. No, be practical, but be prepared. Make sure you always have enough. And sometimes we don't have the financial capabilities of having enough. Okay, so what are alternatives? Instead of sitting in the fear, oh my God, this is going to get shut down. What am I going to do? Gold, silver, blah, blah. It gives people anxiety. That's not helping the frequency to greatness. That's just my opinion. What is going to be great? When we all can love each other and actually all help each other. When we can all come together as a community, Amish mindset. Whatever community, people belong to multiple communities. What can we start doing to prepare ourselves? And that's just starting with your mind. Mindset, changing your reactions. Stop chasing the metaphysical, metaphorical, carrot on a stick that is driving you crazy and making you anxious. Are you judging everybody by their choices that God's having an experience through? Are you hating, shaming, and blaming the other aspects of you that are playing the negative side? You were once them. They were once you. You're individuated. You're more than you think you are. So stop limiting your thinking. Start cherishing each and every day. Have gratitude for what you have. And this world will start looking a lot better. Stop looking for God outside of you. Yes, There is an abundance of entanglement that we have to source. Source is everything. So how can it be? It's also in and out, in and out, but you are also in and out. It's hard to rewire your brain when you're so used to saying, Jesus Christ, my Savior. No, Jesus Christ is in you and you are your own Savior. Because Yeshua's energy fractalized just like sources is in everything. So how can Yeshua, Jesus, be outside of you when it is inside of you? Stop projecting out when it needs to come in. This is not easy to deal with. And we've been programmed to always look outside of ourselves. We've been programmed to hate on ourselves. We've been told by multiple people, you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you suck. I mean, at least for me, I get told, Allison, it's not you, it's me. Half of my relationships, my entire life, Allison, there's nothing wrong with you, it's me. Yeah, I don't believe that. But it took a long time for me to understand what that they weren't meant for me. I have to let it go. You have to let things go. Can't have attachments to people, places, and things. You can love them and give them unconditional love, just like if the Viking, there's feelings there. But at the end of the day, I'm dying. Even if someone's physically holding my hand as I am dying, I'm still going on this journey myself. I'm still moving forward as Y entity being one. And then when I get up there or wherever, higher density, I'm going to merge with my complement. And I'm going to be male and female. One. What a concept. This book is based off a lot of truth done in fiction, but it's still a lot of truth and it's beautiful. And for you to understand the totality, and you're never going to know your full extent of totality, but for here in this limited vehicle, this is a game changer. Get this book, Reconstructing Reality. I keep talking about it because I can't put the damn book down. I'm almost done. But I'm also trying to absorb each chapter that I'm reading and like actually apply what they are getting into my life. So it's taking me a little bit longer to read because I'm trying to implement what the story is trying to tell you into my own life so that I can continue to do the healing. Another resourceful book to do your healing with. Just like the active side of infinity by Carlos Castaneda, that's your shadow work. That's taking the leap of faith. That's looking at the other aspects of you and healing them. There's a lot of books like that. It's just, those are just two profound examples that really game changed me after reading them. You got to find what is going to connect to you. What connects to me might not connect to you. But I guarantee you start opening and expanding and you start taking those steps each day, small ones. Doesn't need to be huge. Start feeding yourself love. Start feeding yourself what you need so that this greatness can be reached by not just you, by the entirety of the whole. This is the greatness we're trying to achieve. It's not outside of yourself. It starts in here for it to manifest outside of here. If you're too distracted by all these agendas and all these carrots on a stick dangling, and each day passes and it's telling you, oh, sorry, the clock ended, and now we're going to re-zip it to 9 more days. They're just leading you on a chase. Instead of thinking, okay, when it happens, great. I still have to live my life on a daily basis. And I know each and every one of my videos seem very similar, and they are for a reason. when you hear it enough times and you start actually doing the work and you start believing in yourself and you start believing in me, that, yeah, what I'm saying might have some kind of validity to it, you start implementing it, your field grows and your life starts changing because you see things in a bigger perspective. You're looking down at as an eagle, you're flying, and you're looking down, going, holy shit, that was what was I thinking? Because you're seeing it from a bigger, different level, detached from emotion, not looking just at the dark, you're also looking at the light, and you're looking in the middle as your beautiful neutrality self, service to source, looking down, going, oh, that's why that flare made me feel that way. That's why my ascension symptoms is heavy this month. I'm doing the course correction purge. I have to give myself and surrender again. And I am. I trusted the universe with my move. It took a long time. I was nearly depleted, but I made it through. Now I'm okay. I got to surrender again, and something will, some door is going to open for me, and it's going to lead me to the rest of my life. And I have faith that that's going to happen. I am surrendering for it to happen. Are you? That's why I'm taking you guys on my journey. So you're seeing tangible evidence from somebody that really can't show you the things that I see, the things that I feel, the things that I'm experiencing. But I could show you by me surrendering, by me doing what I'm doing, you can see how my life is progressing. And I hope that you guys continue on with this journey with me because I want to see the greatness in everything. I want to see the greatness. I am making sure that I'm doing those prayers each and every day from the Curtis's books. I'm making sure that I'm allowing myself, I don't feel good. I can't see clearly. I'm not going to do a real reading today, but I'm going to talk. Oh, you know what? I have to take the day, a day off and allow myself just to be because the energies are too heavy for me and I can't do my work because what I do with my pyramids is energy work. I'm holding gems and materials and praying over them. If I'm all scattered and I feel attacked or I feel off, I'm not really going to program someone's gems to go into a pyramid that has a purpose. I'm not doing that. I want to program the gems as appropriately as I can and put my intention of pure heart and harmony and love into everything that I do. Can't do that when I'm feeling shitty. Right? And we all are human and we all feel like our physical bodies feel like junk. Right? So I as much as I've been drawing, I have not been making. I have a lot of pyramids I still have to sell, but I don't touch stuff that has energy that I really intently put my stuff into until I'm clear or I feel better. I could draw, I could paint. But when it comes to organic materials, find what works for you. We're human, we're entitled to be sick. We're entitled to have a bad day. But how are you going to transmute and alchemize your thoughts? What are you going to do, DC? We're celebrating the greatness that's to be. But make sure that you're alchemizing, you're transmuting, you're transcending, you're being open-minded, you're allowing other thoughts to come in and other perspectives to come in, because if you don't, you can stick in this tunnel vision where you're not seeing a full picture. And last thing, this is gonna, it'll be a little harsh, maybe. I wanted to blow my nose for this one. Stop comparing awakeness to awokeness to being a cognizantly aware. Just because following movement does not mean you're awake. Doesn't mean you're cognizant of a bigger picture, because I can tell you right now, the political people might not be aware of the spiritual people. The spiritual people are not necessarily all political, and they might not be aware of that stuff. I don't like the word awake or awoke or awoke, whatever. It's perception. It's metaphysics. Like I said, as a child, I was galactically and spiritually shown. I was aware. Awareness. I didn't limit my awareness. I expanded it. And I have a lot of books behind me that could tell you that I've expanded. Just because you look into one thing and you do research into one topic does not necessarily make you awake. Because you follow one particular movement doesn't make you crazy. You gotta be well-rounded and understand a bigger picture in order to even deem oneself that label. And again, why are we labeling? I could call myself Gothic because I know I love the color black. But I do have my artwork is colorful. I barely have anything that is in black. I love the use of color, but for myself, I like to wear it. Do you know how long it took me to get used to the idea that I'm super young? I was 28 when I decided to make the change in my hair color. In terms of, I'm letting the gray grow out. F this. I looked in the mirror. I had dark brown hair to black. All I'm seeing is this coming through, and everybody's like, oh my God, I got gray hair. I gotta pluck it. And instead of doing that, I said, okay, I'm going to embrace it now. This is coming in too full, and I'm just going to do it and go for it. I didn't know what I was going to look like. I didn't know if I was going to like it. But you know what? I made a change. And I embraced my gray. I embraced my silver. I embrace it. It looks blonde in many instances. A lot of people, when they meet me in the store, they're like, I love your hair. My goodness. That's not necessarily a Gothic trait. But guess what? I do me authentically. I do my makeup authentically. It makes me happy. Do I need makeup? Probably not. Does this make me happy? Absolutely. So I'm going to do what makes me happy. You do what makes you happy. Walk in your authenticity. Find what that authenticity is. If you can't be yourself, if you can't find something quirky about you that you can express, find it. Be the inner child. Go to the park and go sit on a swing. And then just let go. But we have to stop with this label that I'm awake. I'm lucky to be awake. We've all been awake. It's a matter of remembering and then growing your consciousness to see a bigger picture. We've always been there. It was always within us. We're getting assisted so that we can see it. But everybody's going to wake up in different paradigms. The spiritual people might not know about the political, but the people who are in the political might be able to help the spiritual, as the spiritual might be able to help the political people. And then these people over here that have no concept of anything, that has just been doing the rat race their whole life, they need the most help. And they're worthy of it. They didn't know. it was in them, but they weren't cognizant of it. And now that they are, it's overwhelming on both sides. So we need to be compassionate with ourselves, understand, stop labeling stuff, because that awake woke thing, not everybody's awake to everything. And we're always not going to know the totality of truth in this dimension because we're human. We can't know everything. Only source in totality. When all of us combine like Captain Planet, Captain is Planet, we'll know the full picture. But until that point of 0 point inflection, merging back in with the energy of it all, we're not going to know it all. And we shouldn't pretend that we do. And my paradigm might only fit a certain number of people that are from the same paradigm as me. There are other people of the light that are of a different paradigm than me. They get the bigger picture, and we're going to join forces, and we're going to mesh this beautiful world together, and we're going to make this greatness happen. But we can't make this greatness happen when we're self-limiting ourselves into expansion. Let's expand together. Let's really go slowly now. Grasp what's happening. Understand the electricity happening right now on the planet, and let's ground together. Take those deep breaths, give yourself grace, make sure you get some naps in if you can, and build and carve time in for yourself, please. And no one commented on the last video about the hertz being projected into their bathtub or their shower. So if you're trying that, please let me know how that is, because I know it's game-changing for me, and I'm just trying to help you. Guys, sending each and every one of you love, light, protection, shielding, energy. Please be safe, be seen. Please make sure you are prepared for all scenarios out of fear, but for protecting self. Make sure that if there's a lack or a limit that you just can't afford, think about other ways of accessing items or similar things to help you. Just like the garden. I'm preparing for if there is something going on that I will have food. Might not be a lot, but it's something. Prepare, but not in it. Oh, bread and eggs. It's a snowstorm. Make sure you're mentally prepared. Make sure you can handle people coming to you. Make sure you're not throwing up on them. Make sure you're calm, cool, and collected. And we can all do this together. And guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Amish mindset still applies. It never went away. I'm trying to help so many other people in my everyday life. I'm always liking and trying to share as many videos as I can on my social media. I know I slip up and I forget certain people. We're all human, but I still am there. I'm still showing up, even if I'm not in chat. I'm still liking, I'm still sharing when I can, but I'm still giving them the views. When it comes to people's businesses, I try to post that up. I'm trying to get people on WeNotMe so we can, showcase them. Whatever it takes. We got to do it as a collective together, and each and every one of us are doing our part. And I see you. Don't think I'm ignoring you. There's a lot of you that are amazing. And Amish mindset is amazing when more people apply it. So thank you to those who are doing it and who are continuously supportive of me, as I want to be supportive of you. The chain of help and succession is incoming, and more people are jumping on board. I'm doing it for so many people. I hope you are too. And that's what's going to make this world beautiful. Let's grab, for that greatness. And absolutely, let's capture it together. Until the next time, guys. I love you all, and I'm sending you all my loving, authentic energy. And I hope to see you all in the next one. As I'm going to go and blow my nose again and rest. Have a nice night, guys.